great design has an even better story behind it, says famous designer Rolando Mamo. In her last Chanel collection, Virginia Viard sought her inspiration in Provence, the beautiful region in the south of France. She actually sought her collection on a chalky cave-like rooms, the spaces left behind after centuries of excavations, which fascinated her in the beautiful movie she watched before starting to work on the collection. It was so modern, so fresh and so strong, says Viard in her interview to Vogue magazine, telling the story about her inspiration as she began working on the collection. The movie really inspired the collection, Viard added. Have you ever thought about the story behind your dress or suit, the way they became, and what work is behind it? Every designer has an inspiration he can sort from different sources, like reading a book, watching a movie, traveling, or seeing the art of another artist. Every design has a fascinating story behind it and a hard work of many professionals who contribute a lot in the process of design of fashion collection and make it possible actually for us to wear it. It is very important that every step is made in order and very properly, because it will affect the final quality of the garments, and the quality is a must in fashion industry if you want to survive. As Henry Ford says, quality means doing it right when no one is watching. I'm working in the fashion industry, and that's why I wanted to share with you this fascinating and long and very complicated process of designing a fashion collection. And in the speech, I will show you the main steps that must be performed in order to create the fashion collection. We will focus on inspiration, on creativity, and technical part. There are three main phases of the process when creating a fashion collection. The first phase is gathering information and material selection. In the second phase, we have creativity, where we design technical drawings, creating technical sheets, and developing fashion illustration. In the third phase, we develop samples and proceed with production. So what is the fashion collection? According to www.com Fashion Dictionary, a fashion collection is a selection of outfits and independent garments that fashion designers put together every upcoming season and reflect the predictions for upcoming trends, including color, cut, and proportions. A collection will usually include a variety of styles from evening wear to sportswear. The cut, colors, and proportions should be in the same style so they can tie the collection together. Usually there are two collections per year. One is in spring, summer, another in autumn, winter. And the number of pieces can range something from as few as 30 pieces to as many as 120 pieces. Here are the steps of the first phase. As a starting point, we have to make a research and collect information that will provide us with key data regarding our customer, competitors, and product. Then next we have to decide on the color chart, selection of shades. This is one of the examples. Then we select and define the raw materials we want to use to develop our collection. And then we have to proceed with a concept of collection, which means that despite we have that initial inspiration from designer, but we have to write it down so to make sure everybody knows about the concept. As an example, I can give you this brief concept collection, which is this spring-summer collection was inspired by French culture. The feminine and romantic looks became the main concept, and the looks are dominated by soft shades like cream, powder, beige, coffee, milk. When it's ready, we continue with developing the mood board or inspiration board, which is the type of visual presentation or collage consisting of images, text, fabrics. It evokes a certain style or concept and basically the first draft of the project. Now we came to the phase 2 of our process. We are ready to structure our collection. And the golden rule is that all the garments has to match each other. First, we have to approve the final technical drawings, or you can call them flat drawings. As explained in fashionbusinesscoach.com, a technical drawing is the fashion industry equivalent of a blueprint. It shows the factory or pattern cutter the shape of the garment when laid flat without any artistic flair or stylization. It has to show all the little details that are necessary to the factory, like stitches, like darts, tucks, trims, and fastenings. And then we continue with fashion illustrations, which will allow better appreciation of colors, textures, and fabrics. And finally, we're in the third phase where we proceed with samples and production. We must make initial samples, and this requires purchase of raw materials. After approval of the garments, with the corrections, we develop the final samples. But don't forget that it can take a couple of times of samples, a couple rounds of samples for to make sure that the garment is perfect. And then we continue with production. In conclusion, I must say that these main steps that we went through together are typical for any fashion industry, with some differences according the industry. Remember that everything that starts just with an imagination in designer's head requires specific steps in order to transform that idea into the real garment. And I would like to finish with one of my favorite quotes of Robert Peters, designer and author, who said, "Design creates culture. Culture shapes values. Values determine the future." Thank you.